Hello, welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thank you very much for joining me as I explore this incredible, amazing, wide world of pens. And yes, there are three representatives of this world rotating on a turntable in front of you. Two of them you recognize from my Temu order of a few days ago. And the red one in the middle is the original Jinhao 1935 that I got a while ago. I did a review on it. I like the pen. It's been inked up and in use since I first got it, which is a good sign for any pen in my collection. So all three of these are extremely well made. They're good writers. They got number 8 nibs. They got a huge converter. There's a lot of pluses going for this. But when I saw the pricing in Temu, here's the listings of the clear and the blue, I said, I got to add these. I got to bring these into the Chris family of pens, and they fit in very well. So we're going to dive in a little bit on these pens. I'll give you a link to my original review on the red one. And yes, that is a unique clip, and there's a lot of other aesthetic attributes to these pens which not everybody may love, but to me it's a nice pen, it's a good pen, it works as a pen, it writes well, and I enjoy looking at it. Crab will give you a wink and we'll dive in. So these are the two new ones. The plating is nice, the polish is nice, extremely consistent design. You have that cap band that tells you it's a Jinhao number 1935, a big converter, and the cap comes off in 1 1/4 turns. That's great. I love it. And it's a very interesting nib. The engraving is nice, two-tone. Those swords are not gold-plated. You got your Jinhao Chariot and M for medium. Just your basic plastic feed, but it does look good. When I flushed these pens, a little bit of blue ink came out, so they've been tested. So I'm just impressed totally with the level of quality that a lot of the pens coming out of China now have, and the fact that these cost under $10 US is just amazing, and they've been, tested. It's a lot of pens that cost many, many times more than that aren't tested, and you're the first one to write with them, and sometimes they may not write as you expect. But these have been very consistent for me. So you may say, that 1935 is just not the pen for me. So here's a Jinhao Century 100, also in clear, which I recently bought on Temu for an excellent price. The clarity on both of these is really, really nice. Interesting that the converter here has that gold band, but probably all the large converters do. This is a standard Jinhao converter, and it has a silver band there. To lend to the design of the pen, it would have been nice if that was golden color. You can see the size difference in the nib. And there's a lot more clearance there between the nib and the cap there. Extremely different clip. This clip is unique to the 1935. This is your standard ball clip with a chariot on it, and of course there's a chariot on top versus that gold star on a red field. But I enjoy both of these pens quite a bit. They're good writers, and I think they look good and they feel great in the hand. So people ask about pens posting. And this is a big pen, so for me it feels great in the hand as is. Nice beefy section, kind of like the 9019. But unlike the 9019, I wouldn't call this a good poster, but it does sit there, and it is fairly secure. That cap is heavy. We'll give you those weights. And you do feel the cap there, but it doesn't change the balance as much as I thought. It is a big pen in your hand, and I think it looks great. I know you're interested into how these Jinhaos were packaged, but they were packaged in these cardboard boxes, which were labeled, and got a little bit beat up in transit, but no big deal. Pens arrived okay. And as I mentioned before, interesting label. And inside those boxes, the pens were just in this plastic sleeve, nice heavy-duty plastic. But again, there's just labeling the model, nothing to do with the color of the pen. So here's the blue 1935. It's disassembled as I'm going to disassemble these. The resin is perfect. So one of the things that I noticed is this is injection molded, but they have a ledge in there, like they have on a number of pens that seals up against that section. The quality of the injection molded resin is excellent. So all the fit and finish of this pen is. I'm just impressed. Let's bring in the LED and see how transparent the resin is. So we're in blackout mode as much as I'm going to get in the middle of the day. But as you can see, as we play the light on the parts, they are very transparent, translucent. You can see those pieces there from where the mold works. Nothing comes through there. But it's just, I really like it. I'm certain there's other injection molded blue pens, but I'm certain they cost substantially more money than this does. And they probably even don't have a number 8 nib. You can see those threads from this metal part of the section. Very well made. Looks good. Yeah, that guitar or whatever it is, and that star may turn some people off visually, but doesn't bother me. So what ink to put in it? Well, this ink called out to me. Should really be presidential red, but that's another discussion. And diamine is nice. I like that they put the name of the ink on top of the bottle, so when it's sitting in your drawer, you can find it. And they also put that same little label on the box, so it's a generic box, and as you can see, I put it on the top of the box so I can find it in the drawer. Here's what it looks like on a paper towel. It's a pretty good blue. I like it. Let's see how it works in the pen. Another winner from Jinhao. The minute I inked this pen up and put nib to paper, it just felt great. Felt as good as any other nib I've ever written with, and that's saying a lot. I enjoy how it feels on the paper, which is a very subjective evaluation, but it's the only one I have. The flow is beautiful. This diamine ink seems to be quite wet, and it flows quite well. This nib glides across the paper, and this is Fabriano paper, so it has some texture to it, and it amplifies any type of feedback a nib might have, and this one has almost no feedback whatsoever, but it does have a little. And the other thing that's nice about the number 8 nib, it has a little bit of bounce to it. It just feels good. Certainly doesn't feel like a nail, which some people don't like in a nib, so this would be a nib that could easily satisfy a lot of writers. So we're nearing the end of the video review. I hope you found it interesting, enjoyable. These are great pens. I can't say any more about it, and for the fact that these two latest ones cost me under $10 US, unbelievable value. Number 8 nib, huge ink supply. And I like the design. And I think this is 3 interesting ways of accommodating that design and adding a little variety to it. You got your solid red here, which was the first one. And I still think color-wise, it stands on its own as a good-looking pen. And then they went with a translucent blue resin, which is really actually nice and beautiful, but I don't think it fits in as well with the aesthetics of the pen. And then an all-clear one, which is always a good pen to have, and that's the one I inked up. You may have said, why didn't you put the presidential blue in the blue 1935? Because I didn't want to do that. And I've been into blue inks in clear pens, a la Jinhao 100. The other thing to keep in mind is, if you like the number 8 nib in this big converter, you can always get a 9019. I reviewed a number of those, and the last one in black was a great price again. A little bit over $10, but still very reasonable for the type of pen that you get. So with that, I hope this video found everyone safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens, your inks, your papers, enjoying the pleasure of writing, which I think is one of my great pleasures, and I do it every day. So with that, we've reached the end. Thank you all for watching, and people say bye. You know what's next.